go. I tell this story a lot. Every day I would go to the library, and I would get two books out, and I would get a cookbook and I would get a joke book, and I would memorize both of them
Oh.
from cover to cover. Actually, and people don't know this about me, but I was a chef for 12 years.
I didn't know this about you.
I was a chef for 12
And why
years.
did you stop cooking?
Schedule. It's
Okay.
a very, very hectic schedule. It's the hours are crazy. You don't get any holidays off. You don't get weekends off because restaurants
You're the cook.
that's their busy times.
Yeah.
So I would get a cookbook. I would memorize that. I didn't try a whole lot of the recipes, but my mother did.
Okay.
She would try a lot of the recipes in the cookbook, and I would memorize the recipes. And then I would get a joke book, and I would memorize the jokes and go tell my family the jokes. And I would always ask them the jokes, and I would tell the punchlines, and they didn't want to hear it because I knew all the
Okay,
punchlines.
that's so cute, though. I love the way
And
that works.
my
yeah.
mom, because I would get a cookbook and a joke book, she thought I was going to be one of two things: either a comedian, or she said I was going to be gay. And I absolutely don't know how you equate cooking and gay. I don't like most of the great chefs of the world are men, so I don't know.
That's
how
true.
Yeah, but that's and
Well, gay can also be happy.
yeah, she didn't mean it that way. She didn't mean it that
Well, I
way.
was going to say, did you mean more of like a comedian or a class clown?
I was a class clown. I absolutely was, and actually, like I said, it was kind of a little bit of both from my childhood and my adulthood. I was 39 years old, and I'm a little bit older than that now, but I was 39 years old, and I was online, and I saw that there was an open mic at the Comedy Cabaret.
Okay.
And I decided to go. I asked my wife. I said, "Did she?" Because I've known my wife for a long time, and I asked her. I said, "You think I could do comedy?" She said, "Of course." I said, "So you would support me in that?" She said, "Absolutely." I said, "So you think I'm funny?" She said, "No, not at all." And but I went and I wrote about 5 minutes of material, 5 or 6 minutes of material, and studied it for 2 weeks. Got it memorized. Went to the club and did my set, and I pretty much forgot all my jokes when I got on stage.
Oh,
Yeah,
stage fright?
I remember. Yeah, it was stage fright.
Okay.
I remember one joke, and it got a chuckle, and I said I can come back and do this again next week, and I've been telling jokes ever since. That was 13 and a half years ago.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yep.
See, that's just the very start of like the new beginning. But talking about first when you were getting more into it with your inspirations, did you have any inspirations for being a comedian though? Or did you just feel like you were funny and you wanted to do something like
I felt like I was funny, and I felt like I never, when I was young, I never really gave a thought to being a comedian because all the comedians I had ever seen were older guys.
Okay.
And I was a young kid, and I thought comedy was for older guys, Richard Pryor, Red Fox, George Carlin, those guys. But then I saw this bright 22-year-old comedian named Eddie Murphy.
I love Eddie Murphy.
And I was like, wow, this is a guy close to my age doing what I want to do.
Well, he's in movies.
Well, back then
Boyfriend,
he was a straight up comedian.
Yes,
Before, he was
before
on
he
Saturday
became-
Night Live and he was doing comedy. And I saw that this was a young guy doing comedy, and I was at that point I knew I could do it, but I didn't start doing it right away because by then I had a family. So I waited till my family got a little bit older, then I took the reins.
Well, the good thing is you didn't want to do it right away with your family because you were waiting for them to
Get
like
older
you said,
and
get
get-
older, and
right.
you want to spend time with them.
Absolutely.
Being
It's
a
a-
comedian, sometimes your schedule can be very tight
There's a lot of traveling.
because you don't know where you're traveling to, right?
Even
Too.
though I do a lot of local traveling, it's still a lot of traveling. I can be out till 4 in the morning. I've done shows where it was overnight. I was traveling pretty much overnight. So and I knew that because I had talked to a lot of comedians.
Yep.
So with a young family, I didn't want to do that. I think my son was probably only 8 or 9 years old at the time. You know, my daughters were maybe 12, 13. So,
Yeah, so-
those are prime times. Those were times I wanted to spend with my kids, and I didn't want them because I
Good,
was
you
already
want to make memories, you know.
absolutely
Yeah.
because I was already working a lot. I remember I was working 2 jobs.
Was this was chef or was this something?
This was
else?
something else.
What
But
else did you
do? I worked for a frozen food company.
Oh,
Yeah.
were you like a
and
stalker, or
I was what they call a picker. And that's where everything's shelved on these giant racks, and they would send us to get the stuff off racks and pack stuff up for orders.
okay?
And I was doing that, and I was working another job. I think I was working at Domino's Pizza, and I was going to community college all at the same time.
Wow, but you can say that fast food definitely pays for community college.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. and And then when I started comedy, I had to slow down because I remember one time I came home and I was really tired. And my oldest daughter, she's 34 now, and my wife she was kind of a little bit upset about it. I was like, "What's wrong?" And she said that my daughter asked her, "Where does Daddy live?"
Oh.
Yeah.
Because you were gone all
Because
the
I was
time?
gone all the time.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. Well, we didn't see it that way. That was a cue for me. I had to slow down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for myself though, hearing that makes me be like, oh,
Yeah.
like you just want to like stop everything.
You want to hear something really cool? It's kind of sad and cool at the same time.
Sure. Throw it at me.
That same daughter, I used to smoke cigarettes.
Okay.
And she was probably in middle school, maybe junior high at this time. And she came home one day and she asked me, could I quit smoking? And I was like, why? She was like, well, because in health class, they told us all about the effects of cigarettes, and I don't want you to die. And I was like, damn, I got to quit now.
Did you actually just quit that? Like,
Yeah, I've been
stone cold for her, though? For that?
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
And I've been quit for more than 20 years now.
Well, that's amazing. You shouldn't have done it in the first place, though.
I shouldn't have, but there's a lot of things.
Was it stress?
No. I started smoking. It wasn't stress. Because I started smoking, I was like 17.
So teenager.
So, yeah.
Peer pressure.
What kind of stress do you have? At
Peer
17?
pressure.
No, it wasn't. Well, I guess it kind of was.
Friends.
All my friends smoked.
Peer pressure.
All my friends smoked, but they didn't pressure me to smoke.
Yeah, but they were around you with a cigarette, and you were like, "Oh, it'd be pretty cool if I had." I mean, I don't smoke.
And then I started smoking weed, so I think that was a
well, that's
big
better.
factor.
That should be safer.
Yeah, but that was a big factor in me smoking cigarettes, though.
Oh, because you would smoke more then.
Yeah.
Because of the joints.
Everybody I knew that smoked weed, they smoked cigarettes too. So I think it was
like
just just a combination of the two. I'll tell you what, I am so very glad that I did quit smoking cigarettes because, like I said,
weed.
I don't smoke weed because I can't because of my job.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
you get drug tested.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's not because I don't want to. It's just because
You can't.
I right now comedy with this COVID thing, comedy ain't paying a whole lot.
So you need to have a job.
I need to have a job, but
Yeah.
and they periodically test, and there's no tolerance. But if they didn't test,
then no, I got
absolutely.
you. I understand. I mean, I feel like
Absolutely.
at these times right now, we're all going to be stoners. one
I
day.
mean, if they didn't test at my
So.
job, me and you'd probably be smoking a fatty right now.
Not on my show. It would be on the show after me, probably John Barco's.
Yeah, well,
Would not be on my
I'd
show.
be smoking a fatty somewhere.
Wow, no. So what I find really interesting is though, even though your kid might have said that to your wife and your wife brought it up to you, it kind of made you want to just stop a little and continue.
It definitely made me want to stop. I didn't stop right away.
Yeah, no, it takes a while though to stop.
But
you had it, like, in the
thank
back
God
of your head.
thank God I was one of those people that I didn't have to quit multiple times. I think I made the attempt maybe once or twice, and that was it. And I hadn't smoked since. And I actually, you guys know that I'm a highly religious guy.
Hallelujah.
And I prayed and I asked God to take the taste of cigarettes from me. And one day I was at work and I was smoking, and I just got really sick from a cigarette. I had been smoking for 15 years. And I don't know why I got sick from the cigarette. And it was a guy that smoked, and I gave him my pack of cigarettes, and I hadn't smoked since then.
Well, maybe it's because you prayed.
I like to think so.
I would like to think so too. I think it's maybe you put it in the universe.
Yeah, I like to
a
think
little,
so.
so they were trying to kind of reject it out of you.
And I gotta say, when I smoked, I enjoyed it. It's not like I didn't enjoy smoking and it was just a habit. It was a habit.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed smoking.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
I don't know how. I hate the smell of cigarettes.
You know what? The crazy thing,
gosh.
the crazy thing is that when I smoked, I enjoyed it. But if I wasn't smoking and I was around other people smoking, I didn't like the smell of it.
Maybe a different cigarette.
No, all my friends smoked Newports.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I didn't like the smell of cigarettes when I wasn't smoking. I know that's weird, but
Well, I was gonna say a lot though. My friends normally they would drink and then have a cigarette.
right.
That's normally how it works.
The crazy thing is that
But that doesn't make sense either.
when I was drinking, I didn't smoke a lot. I didn't smoke a lot. I was more an everyday, nearly chain smoker. I don't think I was a chain smoker, but I was close to being a chain smoker.
Oh, that's bad. God.
Yeah, I'm in good
I'm
health
so
right
glad.
now.
Yeah,
though.
I know.
I'm
I'm so thankful.
You know,
that
you know what the
stopped.
crazy thing is? The job that I work now, I work for a steel company, actually, in Trenton.
That's the one that's by Sun Center.
Yeah, and when I first started working there, it's a steel company, so it's kind of dangerous. We work with overhead cranes and heavy steel and everything.
Why?
Hmm?
It's just what pays the best.
It pays good. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's scary. That it's dangerous. You're risking your life.
It's dangerous in the sense of if you're not careful, if you're not vigilant. We
That one time you double checked.
there were two guys that passed away, but that was before I got there. They have safety measures in place now. It's a whole lot safer than people think it is.
Okay.
But if you're not careful, things can happen, and I'll explain to you. This finger right here, when I first started working there, I chopped the edge of this finger off.
Ouch.
Yeah, I'll show you pictures after the show.
Oh, great! I get to see
And-
pictures.
And and when it got chopped off, and I went to the hospital for the emergency, they did surgery to sew it back on. But before they did the surgery, they kept asking me, "Do you smoke?" And I would say, "No, I don't smoke." They was like, "How long has it been since you quit smoking?" 10 years, you know. And they asked me like every 5 or 10 minutes, "Do I smoke?" And I finally asked the doctor, I said, "Why do you guys keep asking me, do I smoke?" They said, "Because if you smoke, we wouldn't bother to try to attach it because it wouldn't heal." So I'm thankful that I quit smoking 10 years before that.
Wow.
Yeah, they said it would not heal.
I
if
don't even
was-
understand what that means, though. How would your finger not heal because of smoking?
Smoking affects your entire body. It affects your entire body.
So it would just like let your finger rot?
I don't know. They just said it wouldn't heal. Yeah. So I'm glad I quit smoking because I'd have a half a finger right now if I didn't.
That's scary, and that's very concernful though for a lot of people that don't know that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
if you have anything going on with your body, stop smoking.
stop smoking, absolutely. And plus, I'm diabetic as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was diagnosed diabetic 5 years ago.
Oh boy.
I'm in really good health.
But you just
It's
check your
under
blood sugar
control.
every day?
Yeah, all the time. It's under control. But again, had I continued to smoke, that wouldn't be a good thing. Being
Yeah, no,
diabetic,
it wouldn't. That would be very bad.
Yeah. Diabetes runs in my family, so it's not anything that I did. It's what my parents did.
Your
No,
genes?
it's just my genes.
Is it your genes?
My genes. Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's a hit or miss,
It is.
But it is
my
very
brother was
concerning.
diabetic. My mother is diabetic. My grandmother was diabetic. I don't really know about my father's side, but a lot of people on my mom's side. I have an uncle who's pre-diabetic, so it's just, it's in my genes.
But do you feel like it's anything maybe that you have ate without like a couple years or anything? Like, have
I
you been
used to
eating a lot of, like,
really
sugar
be.
and
I used
stuff?
to really be into eating sweets. I was really into. I ate
That's
a
what
lot.
I'm into.
I ate a lot of sugar, a lot of sweets, mostly. And most people don't know this, but soda is the worst thing you can drink.
Oh, I know.
ever.
But
It's
you know
the
what? I
worst.
love Coca-Cola
I-
in a glass can, frozen.
I love
And a Dr. Pepper.
Coca-Cola. I love Coca-Cola, and I'm still allowed to drink it.
Yeah.
But
you got to be careful. Your
I
sugar.
have to be very careful. Yeah.
You probably can only have a mini can.
No, I drink a bottle, but I drink one maybe once a month.
That's not me.
You believe me, I want to drink it way more than that.
Well, it tastes better when it's cold.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
say that.
I used to be a Pepsi drinker.
I like Pepsi too.
Pepsi is so much sweeter though.
It is, but I like the cherry Pepsi. Like I like cherry
Pepsi's
Pepsi,
good.
or
Yeah.
like cherry Coke, but cherry Pepsi's better.
Yeah.
Has, like, sweeter taste.
I'm not a big Dr. Pepper fan, but I like Dr. Pepper.
Okay, I like Dr. Pepper. Actually, speaking of Dr. Pepper, we recently had the spokesperson, Justin Guarini from Little Sweet from Diet Dr. Pepper on my show.
You know what? My wife had no idea that was Justin Guarini. She had no idea that was him.
So she's a big fan, or she knows
Yeah,
of him?
absolutely.
Oh, okay.
But she had no idea that Little Sweet was Justin Guarini.
Yeah.
I had
no.
to tell her that. She's like, no. I was like, yeah.
Well, have her listen to the interview here. 'Cause he
I
was
will. I
amazing.
will.
He was video chatting us.
I wish I was here when he was doing that.
It was
Yeah.
amazing. Well, gotta stay updated when I post my post on who my
Absolutely.
guests are.
Absolutely.
Then you gotta text me right after and be like, "Can I come to the studio for the guest?"
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff like that. So yeah, no, that's amazing. Well, getting a little bit back into your comedy and everything, just so we get on topic for everybody that's tuning in. Regarding when you were first into comedy, do you feel like it was hard for you to try to get material? Or writing material, or was it just easy and it like came when there was a lot of mistakes and fails around you?
If you knew my family, you know it wasn't hard at all. Not at
So
all.
what do you mean exactly by that?
For me, I don't really write jokes. Not
Okay.
like write them down on paper. Every now and then I do. Like
Yeah.
if I get an idea, I'll write just the gist of the idea so I won't forget what it was about. But pretty much a lot of my material just comes from everyday life. I'll see something or I'll hear something and I'll just, like I said, I'll write the premise of it down or I'll remember it. And I generally just will in my head go over it in my head over and over and just come up with jokes that way.
But do you feel like with writing your material, you try to base it off of anything that's going on in the world? Like, would you do anything political? Would you do anything that's like Animal Watch? You know,
I don't like to do that kind of material, topical
or cater
material.
to like your audience?
Well, because
Interactive.
Topical material it ages very quickly.
Okay.
It
Like a
ages
hit or
very quickly.
miss, kind of?
Well, I mean, like it's not popular for very long. It's only popular as long as whatever it's based on is going on.
That's true.
Like I have a friend, he does comedy in Florida now. And when the bird flu was active, he had a great joke about bird flu. But then after it was all over 2 years later, he was still trying to do that joke and it didn't fly.
Okay.
You know, he would say, "Oh, so I hear bird flu is back in the news again." No, it's not. It's not back in the news again.
Okay.
So I don't like to do that kind of material. Like if it's something really, really popular that everybody's talking about, I will do it for a while,
Political?
or 1 or 2 shows. I generally don't like political
Okay,
humor.
good. I mean, no, a lot of comedians do that though.
Yeah, I don't like political humor
Because they just try to like, put that in your face or
Right.
whatever. Like the funny thing is, you're
But-
out with your
well,
family,
with
you're at a
political-
comedy show, and then next thing you know, you're hearing about like something on TV that you
Right.
don't give a crap about, and you're like, I don't
Exactly.
want to hear this.
Right. And political humor for me, it's too much of it's too much of my own beliefs. It's too much of my own opinion. I don't want to put that much of my opinion into my audience.
Yeah, or more if it's suffocating the audience.
Absolutely.
know?
Absolutely. I like to do like just observational humor, family, what's going on in my neighborhood, stuff that pretty much everybody can relate to. And you've heard my comedy a number of times, and it's just stuff, no matter if you white, black, Asian, Puerto Rican, you can relate to my humor. And that's what I like to do. Not everybody can relate to my political opinion.
You got some material you want to show us today?
No.
Why is it not clean?
I think I have.
I think you got something here.
I have a joke.
Let's see.
The little boy walked into an ice cream parlor, and the guy asked him what he want, and he says, "Give me a scoop of vanilla." And no, I can't do that joke. I just realized it has an F-bomb in it.
Oh, it's fine. Continue.
Okay. All right. So he walks into an ice cream parlor.
As long as it's nothing like parts related. But
No. It's definitely
Anatomy.
Not. It's definitely not.
Go on.
So he asked for a scoop of vanilla and a scoop of chocolate. The guy says, "We don't have any chocolate. What else do you want?" He says, "Give me a scoop of strawberry and a scoop of chocolate." The guy says, "Look, I just told you, we don't have any chocolate. What else do you want?" He says, "Give me a scoop of butter pecan and a scoop of chocolate." The guy says, "Look, kid, can you spell a van in vanilla?" He said, "Yeah, V-A-N." He said, "Can you spell the straw in strawberry?" He said, S-T-R-A-W. He said, "Can you spell the butter in butter pecan?" He said, B-U-T-T-E-R. He said, "Can you spell the fucking chocolate?" Little boy thinks about it. He said, "There is no fucking chocolate." He said, "That's what I've been trying to tell you."
I love that. That's age appropriate.
Yeah, I
That's
just,
funny.
Yeah.
That's just
yeah,
that's
it's
something
no,
that-
it's no sex or anatomy in it. It's just language.
yeah.
That's all
and
it
you know,
is.
sometimes I mean, my favorite comedian out there is Rob Schneider and Adam Sandler.
I like Rob Schneider. I haven't really gotten into Adam Sandler. I'm not really familiar with a lot of his comedy.
Okay. If you have Netflix, all their comedy shows, like their movies stuff, is on Netflix. So you
Yeah.
should take a listen and see.
Yeah.
Because Adam Sandler and Rob Schneider are like best friends. So they're
Okay.
in like everything together.
So their comedy is very similar.
yeah, or
then.
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would hope so. I think everybody does.
Yeah.
Especially because of my genes.
Mm-hmm.
Me being Italian, I have to know him. If I didn't, I probably would go.
That's a spicier meatball.
So, no, but what I love about like comedians and stuff, and also with Rob Schneider, as we were talking a little bit off air, he's very wide awake with the world. So he'll mention it in his comedy, and people
Right.
are like confused. And me and my dad will be listening, will be like, yeah, it's on point.
See, that's the thing about,
So-
and that's another thing, the reason why I don't do topical humor, because I think you got to really be sharp.
He is.
You have to really be sharp
He
to
makes
do
it so comical.
Exactly.
It's like Kevin Hart.
Yeah, that's what I think. You got to really be sharp with it, and I'm not that sharp with political humor. I'm more, like I said, I'm more observational because I look at things, I watch things. You know, when I have shows, people don't realize that before the show, I'm out in the audience. I'm just looking at people and I'm meeting people, and when I interact with people, they like, how do you do that? It's because I met them before the show.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of an art to get to know something about somebody in a minute and a half, but I try to do that.
But for some of your comedy, if I'm not mistaken, don't you call out people too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because you make it more like interactive and
yeah.
fun.
Mm-hmm.
Or you like say who in the
But
audience
but
is married or
I try
something.
not, and I've seen comedians do this. I try not to bash people because people don't come to comedy shows to be bashed.
That's true.
They come there to have a good time.
Well, actually,
a lot of comedians that do crowd work, they're not good at it because they bash the audience. I don't bash them. I make them part of the show. I bring them into my world.
Yes.
And before I even bring them into my world, I do some self-deprecating. So they're looking. They say, well, if we can laugh at him, then we can laugh at ourselves.
yeah, because you make us like double think of what you said or whatever.
Right.
It is.
Exactly.
I feel like another thing is though, when you go to a comedy show, you know, we all like really excited. It's like a night out. Nobody wants to be in the front though.
No, nobody likes sitting in the front.
Nobody. And
No.
you know, they keep
and
trying
you,
to
and
push
you saw
us.
the last time I did the show, it was some people sitting in the front, and I was like, give it up for these brave people. Because they know, people who sit in the front, they know what's coming.
Oh, I know.
They know
100%.
exactly what's coming.
Even if it's like whatever's on their plate or something while you're doing comedy. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just how it works.
Absolutely.
So, but I feel like that also helps you with material in case
Oh,
maybe
absolutely,
you
yeah.
feel like you forget a joke or something, you know, like you improvise.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
quickly.
Yeah, it definitely helps, especially when the audience is willing. Because I've done shows where the audience was really willing. So if they're willing, that just makes my job easier.
Just more fun and flexible and great to interact with.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're doing material and stuff, like, I mean, I don't know if any comedians ever like forget their material
Absolutely, we forget
all the time. So
Absolutely.
then how do you like improvise that quickly, or where would your step be where you'd like
It's
pull
just
something quickly from your head or something like?
it's just years of doing comedy.
Well, start from the very beginning when you first started.
When I first started, that was pretty much all I did. I did a lot of crowd work because you've heard of the dozens.
I know Cheaper by the Dozens.
Well,
I think you knew where I was going with that.
Yeah, I know where you were going with that. Growing up, we did a lot of my friends and I. We did a lot of your mama jokes and
Okay.
stuff like that with each
All
other.
right, so I remember blonde jokes and your mama jokes.
Right, they're all
That
the
was the
same,
biggest
right.
ones. Yeah.
And that's really kind of where I honed my skills as a crowd work comedian.
Okay.
Just doing that. So it really, when I first got on stage, it really came natural. I think, and I wouldn't recommend any young new comedians doing that. I would recommend that if you're going to do that later on. Learn how to do comedy first. Learn to write jokes. Learn to tell, standard jokes before you do that, because it could be dangerous in doing that, where you could lose your audience.
Yeah, or you don't know who the people in the audience are, and they
You don't know who they
attack you
are.
after the show or something.
Well, in 13 years, I've never seen that happen.
Okay.
I've never seen that happen. People always ask me as well, and I've never seen a comedian actually get booed.
Well, shows that I've been to, or one that you were a part of, wasn't there something that happened at that City Streets besides that car honking, or it was another time?
It might have been another time.
It was more the fact that somebody was just saying something that like the audience didn't like, or one person got super offended.
Yeah.
And like they chased them to their car or something.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you, but I think it was one you were a part of.
It might have been.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That we witnessed. That was at City Streets Inside. It was at
Was
City
it?
Streets Inside.
Okay, all right.
Because I think
I think I might remember that.
I think it was like I
Yeah.
don't know. I
But,
think Turtle was there. Like
Yeah. But in the
Timmy Light
years
was opening.
I've been doing comedy, I've never seen anybody get booed. I think comedy audiences, people who go to comedy, they go to comedy a lot, and I think they're very savvy and they're very knowledgeable about comedy and what comedy is.
They should be.
Yeah, and
But sometimes they aren't, and they fall flat on their face.
sometimes. But
'Cause nobody laughs, nobody does anything. It's like silent audience.
see, as many times as I've done comedy, and it's said in comedy that if you have a lot of good sets, you're due for a bad one.
Okay.
And I've been looking for a bad set for 5 years. I haven't had a bad one in 5 years. And I've gotten to the point where I stopped looking for it because I don't want it to happen. But if it does happen, that's fine, because it's always a learning experience. You learn more from failure than you do success.
That's very true.
And so when
But who wants to fail?
nobody wants to fail, but it's going to make you better though. And it doesn't matter if
It
it's
can.
comedy or whatever you
Yeah.
do. You're gonna learn from it, because when you're always doing well, what are you learning? You're not really learning anything.
No, you're succeeding, and you're
Yeah.
making positive energy happen, and you're growing.
But you can do that from failure as well.
Well, that's more upsetting and depressing.
It is. It is.
You see how
But
you turn from
comedy,
positive to negative real quick?
absolutely.
That's what you gotta be careful of.
But in comedy, it's almost necessary, especially in the beginning, to fail, because you don't want those failures to come later on when you're doing 400-seat auditoriums.
That's true.
You know, when you're doing a 20-seat room, okay, you want it then. You don't want it when you're doing 400 people.
Well, you have
or
to be
1,000
careful.
people.
It's not your fault. Sometimes
It's
not.
not.
Your
It's not always that you're not careful. It's just sometimes that happens. I did a show in New Egypt, New Jersey, probably about 8 or 9 years ago, maybe a little longer. And the woman that put on the show, she saw my set, her and her mother, and she was really impressed with me. Very, very impressed. She saw my whole entire set. I did 45 minutes.
Okay.
And she saw the whole thing, and she was impressed. She said, "I'm putting on the show. I want you to be in my show." And I was like, "That's fine." So the day of the show came, and I couldn't find the address. I was a little late. I was probably about 10 minutes late. So when I got there, I had to go directly on stage. I had to walk through the door and go right on stage. And I started out doing my regular material, and like 20 women stood up and walked out. And because you guys heard me before, I do adult humor. I don't do raunchy, but I do adult humor. And the woman that put on the show that saw me, she asked somebody to come up on stage, one of my friends to come up on stage and take me off. And he was like, "Well, I can't do that. That's not professional courtesy." So after the show, I found out that these women were part of a church group. So this was something that was totally out of my control.
It is, but she should have let you know that.
Well, I thought she was in the wrong because she saw my set. She saw exactly what I do.
And she booked you for the gig.
And she booked me for it anyway, you know. And although I didn't have a good set, it was pretty bad. But sometimes you have to go on. You can't quit, you know.
Well, unless she makes you quit.
Well, that's not quitting. That's getting fired.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
But you know, I've done.
But it's a learning experience. Like you said,
and again, a learning experience turned positive because I learned to ask, what is my audience? You know, when I go in, what's my audience? Especially if I'm going in blind.
Did you ask that though after you booked it? Or
No,
you
I assumed that she knew because she was at my show. That's how she met me. I assumed that she knew I was going to do adult material.
And she heard you and
she heard me. She heard my complete set. Yeah.
Oh,
so I didn't think I had to ask.
Well, I guess you did because you made the church people like confused.
Now
scared.
I've done other church shows and did my same material and they loved it. You know, I even excused myself. I said, "Well, excuse me," and they was like, "No, do what you do." You know.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the audience and who they are.
That's definitely true. It also depends on the person and like how they're feeling that day.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like if they're feeling depressed or upset, they're gonna be cranky and mean.
Absolutely.
If they're feeling happy and positive, then they're gonna laugh, or sometimes they might cry.
I did a show at it's in Philly, right outside of Philly. I forget the township, but it was at this place called the Hollywood Tavern. I used to do that all the time.
Okay.
And
What town?
I don't do it anymore. The town?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name.
Oh.
Yeah. But
It's not Fishtown, is it?
No, it's
Okay.
way on the other side of
All right,
town.
because I like Fishtown.
Okay.
That's
Fishtown is cool.
That's the fun town.
Cool,
That's
yeah.
the party
It's
town.
all
Okay,
college students.
Just bar hopping. Just
yeah.
You walk to each place. That's
Absolutely.
how it works.
Fishtown is cool. But I remember this family being there, and I was doing my set, and it was no, this was at the Comedy Cabaret.
Oh, okay.
It was a book show at the Comedy Cabaret, and this family, they had just this woman, older woman, she had just buried her son that day.
Oh.
And
Wow, that's kind of
no, it's a good ending to the
right.
story.
We'll see.
She buried her son that day, and her I don't know, her husband or somebody had got flown out for a heart transplant earlier that month. And her son came up to me after the show, and he said, "Can I shake your hand?" I was like, "What for?" He said, "I just want to thank you for bringing some brightness into our family."
Wait, is that the one she buried?
Yeah, no, another son.
Okay.
If that was the son she buried, I would not shake his hand. I would not have
You
shook
didn't
his
say
hand.
she had two sons. You said the son that she buried. That's why I thought it was like a flip around story.
No.
Where like he came out of the ground and he like, shook your hand.
No, I only know of one guy that did that. But he shook my hand. He said, I just want to thank you because you made my family smile, and we needed that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so
that helps at hard times and stuff.
absolutely, absolutely.
And that's why, I mean, as of right now with like COVID and stuff, because I want to know how that affects you being as a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like everybody turns to comedy. I mean, we look for it on movies, we look for it on TV.
I know it's a cliche and it's been said a million times, but laughter is the best medicine.
It is.
It really is.
And can I tell you something? When you're laughing so much and your stomach hurts, I feel like you actually lose weight. So I'd rather do that than go to the gym.
I hear you. Yeah. I mean,
it's
like
cheaper, it's easier, and it just hurts. But
people always ask me, because a lot of times people who ask me about comedy, they don't really know what comedy involves. They only see the finished product.
Yep.
And
because we don't know what your stress and aggravation.
And there's a lot to it before you get to that stage. But for me, it's all worth it. All the stress and the writing of jokes and everything that's involved with it. It for me, it is totally worth it when I get up on that stage and people are laughing. And after the show, they thanking me and saying, "Oh my God, how funny you were." I love it. It's all worth it.
So how has COVID affected your comedy career?
It's I wouldn't say it killed it, but it's on life support right now. It's definitely on life support.
What are you doing the best to kind of bring it up or make it more living? Because it's on life support.
Right now, I just keep sharp by telling my friends jokes. I do get shows here and there.
You do anything virtual?
Say it again.
Do you do anything virtual?
I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it.
You're going to look more into that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's a lot of comedy shows that are doing that.
The thing about virtual comedy is that with comedy, when you're doing shows, even if it's a limited amount of people, you get instant feedback in their laughter.
That's true.
Virtual, you don't get any of that. So you don't know how well you're doing.
Oh.
Well, and really, and for comedians, we feed off the audience.
That's true.
We feed off the laughter.
You do.
Even if people aren't laughing, you feed off of that because you come back and try to make them laugh. So you feed off of that. That's what scares me about virtual humor, about virtual comedy, is that I already know I'm not going to get any laughs, not any audible laughs.
Well, why would you be negative about it? You should try and see.
I'm not negative about it. It's definitely something I want to do, but something that even more I want to do is years ago, Def Comedy Jam.
Yes.
There was a comedian named Michael Collier, and he did a whole entire comedy show with several of his comedy friends on the beach with no microphone or anything, just a crowd of people around him. I want to do something like that.
Okay.
I want to do something outdoors, just people and comedians together.
Are you looking for after like mid-spring? Are you looking for warmer or cold?
For me, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But I think some of my friends that are in comedy, they would really mind if it was cold. So maybe in the spring.
Okay. So no snow.
No snow, absolutely not. But for me, it definitely wouldn't matter. I don't care. I just want to do comedy.
It's just something that you like and you enjoy doing.
Yeah, I even have a spot picked out already. It's a park in my neighborhood. There's a big stage. There's no microphone. And I've done comedy without a mic before.
You can project your voice, right?
Yeah, and most comedians can't do that. But I was kind of forced into it on 2 occasions. One, I did an open mic, and it was more of poetry. So they didn't have an open mic. They didn't have a mic.
Oh my gosh.
So I was forced to do it, and I did well. And then another one was where
did you have to do poetry though, or
no,
you
it was just
it's
spoken
not the
word.
one that goes snaps, is it? They snap for you.
My wife does that. My wife does that.
That's cute.
No, I just did some comedy and they laughed and everything, and it was really cool. And then the second time I did it was actually at the Comedy Cabaret, where the power went out.
Oh.
Yeah, and
did you improvise?
The show must go on.
So in the dark, you're just shouting.
In the dark with no microphone. Yep.
So you didn't scare anyone.
No, I had a good set. People enjoyed it.
Because you just heard laughing.
And the lights came back on the last 30 seconds of my set.
Oh, so then maybe it was a test.
I guess.
No, I mean like God testing you or something versus like
another time the alarm came on. And I had to try to yell over the alarm, and it was a really, really loud alarm.
Wow. Have you ever looked into doing anything with, like you project your voice and stuff? Have you looked into ventriloquism?
Not yet.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's still on your bucket list?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Absolutely.
Because if you're good at projecting your voice, you can see how great you can do it when your mouth's closed.
Um.
Then you just have to get a puppet.
Yeah.
Then it'd be more fun.
I did a commercial. Well, actually, a print ad for Philips Lighting Company
Okay.
a couple years ago, and I went to this talent agency. And when I went to the agency, the receptionist, the woman who owned the talent company, her name was Marianne Clara.
Mm-hmm.
She's a model from the '60s, very beautiful woman, and her office is right behind the receptionist desk, which the receptionist was her mom.
Okay.
And I was talking to her mom, and she was like, "Oh God, Mom, who is that? Send him back here." She says, "Yeah, he has a beautiful voice," and she told me that I should try some voice acting.
Okay.
And
Or voiceovers.
Yeah, and I definitely want to do that. It's just the thing that with voiceover and voice acting, it's really hard to get into because nobody leaves those jobs. Nobody leaves those jobs.
Well, you can always start here at Hamilton Radio.
Absolutely.
Because, Doc G, we're doing that, right? Or when does that start? Okay, well, we've been doing it apparently.
Okay, all right.
But we're still looking? There you go.
All right. Yeah.
Always looking. So you have
absolutely.
another thing here.
Yeah,
to start off with.
I definitely that's something definitely I want to get into. Like the guys that do the voiceover for the movie trailers.
Hey,
and
well, you
stuff
were
like
talking about
that.
Eddie Murphy. I mean, he was Shrek. I
Yeah.
mean, he was in Shrek. He's
Yeah.
the donkey.
In the world.
We all love him. So, see? Go on.
That was stupid.
No, seriously. If you have things you want to try out or anything, do it now.
I can tell you guys another joke.
No, I mean for voice acting, for your voice, for you to feel
I'm not
more
really prepared right now. I don't have anything.
We didn't give you a script or anything.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
But you had something. You were saying something.
You
You were just working with
I
your
was just
type
working-
of
yeah,
voices
just-
and stuff you
yeah,
have.
Yeah.
What type of voices can you give us? Can you do accents? Can you do voices? Can you do like impressions, impersonations?
A little bit all of those.
Like?
A little bit all of those. Let me see. I could do Sylvester Stallone
Okay.
and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
I'll set it up. Arnold Schwarzenegger is challenging Sylvester Stallone to a fight. And he would say, Sylvester, I want to challenge you. I'm going to challenge your challenge with the challenge of my challenge. Yo, Arnold, that doesn't even sound like anything. I'm going to go home and have a big glass of steroids. Working on it. I'm working on it.
No, you should have said eggs.
You know, I tried that one time.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like
Because he does drink eggs.
I mean, the
That's all
raw
it is.
eggs. When
Yeah.
I was a little kid when I first saw Rocky,
Okay.
and
So
I
you were
cracked
interested.
5 raw eggs into a glass because it was 5. I think
Yeah.
it was 5 that he did.
Yeah.
And I drank the whole glass of raw eggs.
And?
I was sick as a dog.
Yeah.
It made me really sick, and not even realizing I could have gave myself like botulism or something.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. It was. I tried it though. I think every kid my age, when they saw Rocky, they tried that.
Well, no, I was saying when you said that, because you said drink a whole bowl of steroids,
Yeah.
you could have said drink a whole, like a cup
I know,
of
but I'm
eggs.
just saying that I tried that eggs thing.
Yeah, no, wow.
Yeah, that was. I tried a lot of stuff when I was a kid that was stupid.
We all did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just our age of just
Yeah,
being yelled at our parents constantly.
I
and
guess
think
I was
that's-
probably about 14 when I did that.
Okay, that's not that stupid. That's you're older. You're a teenager.
Yeah, it was stupid.
But you were interested.
I was interested.
That's
yeah.
why. I thought it was like when
I
you were little.
actually, at that time, my uncle, he's a boxing trainer. I was actually training as a boxer at that time.
Oh, so you were like actually looking to like, were you in the ring and stuff, or was it more?
No, I was just training as an amateur. I never did any professional fighting.
But you did like.
Yeah, all the
you know how
training
to-
and stuff.
okay.
Yeah. My uncle, he's been a trainer for probably about 40 years,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much he's trained everybody, all the males in my family,
Mm-hmm.
and I never really had aspirations to be a boxer. I thought it was cool just to train
Yeah.
and maybe get some fight skills, but I never really had any aspirations to be a boxer.
Okay, well that's nice though because you liked Rocky, you know, so maybe that kind of gave you a little bit of an idea of where you were looking.
No,
No,
I was just
messing around, having a
just
good time.
messing around.
Just
yeah.
learning.
Yeah, just learning. I was a kid. I was one of those kids that was interested in everything.
So did you like airplanes?
Absolutely.
Astronaut, space shuttle.
I did. I never as a kid, I never said I wanted to be an astronaut.
Yeah, who would?
What I wanted to do, I mean, up until probably about, I don't know, 12 or 13 years old, I really wanted to be a fireman.
Oh, really?
I really wanted to be a fireman.
And can I ask why?
I think it was just the red truck and just firemen look cool. They
Okay.
look cool. You know, all the firemen I ever seen, when they was coming out of a fire and they had that big giant suit on them and they had the axe and, you know, smoke embers were coming off of them, like almost like a movie. It looked really cool. I always thought it was cool. In Philadelphia, I took the test to be fireman.
And?
I passed the test, but I didn't. Some people get veterans preference, where if you were in the service, you get extra points, and the list is crazy long. So I don't think I didn't make it for any other reasons. This list was so long. I was probably at the bottom of the list.
So if the list wasn't completely wrong, you would have gotten trained, or you
I probably would have.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably would have. I tested for firemen and policemen. Policemen, I did not want to be a cop. I tested that because my friend needed somebody to go down and test with them, and I just tested with them.
Oh, so you just did something.
Yeah, I really.
But how did you, like, regarding, well, you're probably good at, like, studying and stuff, like
Yeah.
tests? Okay, so, like, what was, like, tests and stuff for a firefighter?
A lot of it's remembrance. They'll give you, you got to remember all these different kind of axes they use, the different kind of liquids they use to put out fire, because it's not always water. People think it's just water. It's not always water.
I used to work at firefighter in
So you
Pennington.
know then.
So I know the different, kind of little bit of what the the fire extinguisher has.
Right.
A little bit.
Right.
like
It's
that,
not
like the
always
Ansel-
water.
the
So you had to
Amaranth and stuff.
learn how to distinguish the different fluids and how to operate different equipment. And
Did you have to learn? You don't learn how to refill it or anything, right?
No. One of the big
don't
things
do
that
that.
people don't know, you have to learn whatever city it is. You have to learn the map of the city. Yeah.
What exactly do you mean?
You have to learn basically how to get back and forth to A and B in the city. As a firefighter, you're fighting fires all over the city.
Yeah, that's right.
So you have to know directions. You have to know how to get there. And people don't know this as well, that firefighters are the only, I guess, city entity, or maybe I should say, is that they can break the traffic laws. Yeah.
Oh.
Police can't even break the traffic laws. No.
But they always go through red lights.
They always do, but they're not allowed to. They're not supposed to do that.
Okay.
But the fire department are the only ones that could break the
An
traffic laws.
ambulance, no?
Well, they're part of the fire department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's good to know that that cops can't.
They're not supposed to
I
do
had an
that.
idea, but I thought they were just taking advantage of that because they think they're cool.
They are. Yeah, they are taking advantage of it because they're not supposed to do that.
Okay.
I have police officers in my family, and they told me they're not supposed to do that.
So he doesn't do that, but probably everybody else does.
No, he told me because he does it.
Oh.
He said he does it, but he's not supposed to.
And a lot of them do.
I'm not going to say his name because I don't want him to get in trouble.
You don't got to say anything. You're
Yeah.
fine. I mean, there's cops everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't even know what state you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, it's Pennsylvania.
Well, you don't have to give that away.
The 2nd District. I'm not going to give his name, though.
Getting real close now, hot or cold.
I'm not going to tell his name, though.
So with your family members and everyone, because your wife's seems like she very supports you. Is your family very supportive of your comedy career?
Yeah, they are. Most of them have never seen me do comedy, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you know what you need to do?
Yeah, invite them to shows.
Oh, virtual.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
If you just to show them.
I've been
Maybe they
doing-
have like ideas and stuff you can use.
Yeah,
you
I've been
know,
doing
new.
comedy, like I said, for 13 and a half years, and my mother has never seen me do comedy.
Yeah, then you should show
Yeah.
her. Unless you mock her. Or
No,
something.
I don't.
my
No,
bad.
I do some jokes about my mom, but it's not really mocking though. I don't think any of my kids have ever seen me do comedy.
See,
Yeah,
you're coming to a new year. Like,
but
what is your next?
my next venture or whatever.
What is your next go-to? Like, are you looking to try to do more out in public versus like COVID? Like, if you can,
I think so.
or are you trying to wait out?
No, I'm not gonna wait it out because
You ain't waiting
we
no
don't know how
longer.
long this is gonna take. No, I'm working on some stuff.
We in the
I
year
really want-
2027.
Yeah, right. I really want to do the outdoor thing.
Okay.
I really want to do that and see how that goes. Get some of my comedy friends. I know I have a lot of people in comedy that want to do it. I think they're scared though because it is a scary thing to do comedy. You're raw. You're naked.
Was Stephanie a comedian as well? I thought she-
No. Stephanie's not a comedian.
Oh, she seemed
No,
like she
I
had
actually
funny
I
things.
met Stephanie at City Streets.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Did she have soap?
Not when she was at City Street. She actually came to the show, not for me because I didn't know her.
Okay.
But I met her there, and then I guess a couple months later, she was on my show. I had her on my show because when I did my show, I definitely wanted to have a female on my show.
Too many guys.
Well, yeah, because it broke things up. I love to give females opportunities. You know, we had somebody, and she was really sharp, and I had to have somebody to deal with Mark.
It was fun. It was a good show, though.
Yeah, it was.
We're sad that you had to leave, but
you know,
hopefully
things
you're coming
happen.
back. You know?
Yes, absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
maybe as a voice actor.
Whatever you guys need me to do.
We need a lot of like promotions and stuff taken
Whatever
care
you guys
of, so
need me to
you
do.
just got to talk to my dad about that later
Mm-hmm.
after the show. So, wow, there's a lot going on. So I'm very happy for you. I didn't know
Thank
you
you.
did a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, a
You
lot of
learn
people
a
don't.
lot.
A lot of people don't. I'm not a person that puts it out there like that. You know.
It's stuff you're happy about, though.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm proud
and you
of
like
I'm
to
proud
share,
of what I do.
which I love.
And if somebody asks me, I'll tell them. You know, I'm not ashamed of anything I do. I was telling somebody one time what all the stuff I do, and they called me a baby Steve Harvey, and I was like,
Wait,
okay.
I don't even understand that. It's because Steve Harvey does
because he
everything?
does so much. He has like 3 television shows, and he has
I only know him on
like
one show.
10 businesses. Well, he has a daytime talk show.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, he has a daytime talk show.
I only know him from the one show.
and the Family Feud, right?
That's the only show I know him from.
Yeah, he has that. He also has a daytime talk show. He had a sitcom before.
Nope.
Yeah, yep. He had a sitcom. I think it was called
Was
the
it with
Steve Harvey
Urkel?
Show. No. He was a teacher in this show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was with, I think it was Cedric the Entertainer.
I don't know who Cedric is.
Um,
My parents might.
You might know him. You probably know him when you see him.
Who's
What was
Cedric?
the movie he did? He did a movie with Vanessa Williams.
Family Johnson Vacation?
I think that was it.
Really?
I think so.
Because that's the only movie that Vanessa Williams is in that I really like. Well, the one that I've seen.
Yeah, that's the one. The fat
Who?
dark skinned guy that played her husband.
Oh, that's him?
That's Cedric the Entertainer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love Johnson Family Home Vacation.
Yeah, that's
okay.
the one. Yeah.
That's the go-to.
That was the one with Bow
Bow
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
And was it Beyonce's little sister?
Solange.
Yeah.
Is that who that was?
I think so.
Because I didn't know who she was.
Hold on. Give me a second. I have to check this. Talk.
You're like me. I
have to. It's
yeah.
Johnson Family Home Vacation.
I think that I
Isn't
I
it
never.
Solange Knowles?
I didn't know that was her.
Somebody got to tell me right now. I'm going crazy. Hold on. Johnson Family Home Vacation.
Is that an iPhone?
No.
That's Android?
Yes.
I want to show you something with the Android.
Is it Solange? Well, can you look?
Here's something you might have
Vanessa. Yeah, Solange. Nikki Johnson.
not. Okay, I didn't know that.
Okay.
All
It
right.
was either that or it was the girl that played the one in Are We There Yet?
Yeah.
I don't know her name.
All right, I'm gonna show you something with your Android phone. A lot of people don't know this. Remember Harry Potter?
Yes.
Remember when the end of his wand lit up? The words he said. He said Maxima. No, that's not what it was. It was Luminos. Hey Google. Luminos Maxima.
Turning flashlight on.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I did not know that.
Hey Google. Knox.
Turning flashlight off.
Really?
Yes.
So Luminous Maxa.
Luminos
Luminos
Maxima.
Maxima.
And if you go on Google
Yes.
and put in the Wizard of Oz, you'll see up in the left-hand corner there's a little tornado.
Oh, yes, I've seen that.
You see, touch that tornado and
Yeah.
it spins and turns black
And then
and
the
white.
shoes come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ruby shoes.
I know a lot of useless information.
I think that's amazing.
As
Why
a
is
comedian.
that useless?
Well, it's my wife and my mom used to tell me that all the time. I know a lot of, but
What else do you know of that? Do you know any more of those fun things? Because I love
probably
hearing
a
them.
million of them. I'll let you know. But
That's so interesting.
as a comedian, useless information is really good. It's really good to know.
What do you mean? Oh, because you
Well,
just throw it out there?
You use a lot of it in your comedy. Yeah.
Well, you don't use anything with that guy from Johnson Family Home Vacation, do you?
No. He's a comedian, so I don't really indulge with other comedians like that. Truthfully, I don't even watch a lot of comedy.
Okay. Well, what do you watch?
I watch a lot of YouTube.
Action?
I like action.
Like movies?
Yeah. Avengers.
Okay.
And stuff like that.
Marvel, DC?
Of course, I love comedy movies. Love comedies.
But like who? Like what movies? Like
Anything that makes me laugh.
okay.
It doesn't matter who's in it. If it makes me laugh, if it's action, I don't care. I really like Denzel Washington.
Okay. What about
like-
Central Intelligence?
I thought that was really funny.
Okay,
I
that's
thought
my
that was
favorite
funny.
movie.
I
Okay.
thought that was funny.
Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart.
I thought that was funny because
perfect.
Dwayne Johnson playing this big giant nerd guy. I like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Because he's always like the alpha omega and anything he's in.
and
So
Kevin Hart was.
every time it's on TV, I just have to like watch it.
Yeah, I like
just
those
stop
too.
everything and watch it.
I like those too. But anything with action, anything with comedy, I love it. I don't really care who's in it.
Yeah.
I love to laugh. I love to laugh, and that's what prompted me to be a comedian because I love laughter so much. I mean,
So you feel like you lose a lot of weight when you laugh
I've lost some weight
from laughing?
Maybe,
Maybe.
yeah.
Well, when you're laughing so hard and your abs hurt, I think it's a workout.
It's definitely a workout. I remember one time, I was probably in my early 20s, and I was with two of my friends, and we were smoking, and I just got this vision in my head of like a really fat Buddha just laughing, and I could not stop laughing because of that vision in my head.
Where did that come from?
I have no idea.
Were you smoking weed?
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, we were smoking.
Okay.
And
I didn't know
got
if it was a cigarette or if it
No,
was
we were
weed.
smoking weed.
Okay.
And I just got this vision of a really fat Buddha laughing. And I just could not stop. I must have laughed for 15 or 20 minutes.
And did your friend?
Oh, they thought I was crazy. They were just looking at me. They thought I was absolutely out of my mind.
You must have gotten super high
I think we was probably smoking about 3 or 4 joints.
in that state.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah,
Wow,
and
that's crazy.
the vision just popped in there, and I started laughing. I couldn't stop. I guess they probably thought I was going to die laughing, and I would have been cool with that. I would have been cool dying laughing.
Well, laughter is very infectious. and
Absolutely.
it's very just it feels really nice when you have like a good laugh. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't know have that once in a while.
My
We'd rather laugh than cry.
absolutely. My grandkids, they're funny. My 5-year-old grandson Chase. I'll tell you a story. One day I was sitting in my car, warming my car up, and him and my wife were standing out the driver's side window. Me and my wife were talking. He's kind of standing in between us.
Yeah.
And he grabs his stomach and he says, Pop, I'm sick. I'm so sick. And I get a little bit concerned. I'm like, what's wrong, Chase? He looks at me and says, I'm sick of hearing you talk.
Okay, he's got some sarcasm going on.
And I was like, at that point, I was like, wow, my 5-year-old grandson's an asshole. And I looked at my wife and she looked at me and we just started laughing.
Aww.
Yeah, he is definitely sarcastic.
So maybe he's not learning that from you, is he?
He does get some of his sarcasm from me. He absolutely does.
So you think he'll be a comedian when he grows up? You hope not.
No, I would love him. I would love all of my grandkids to be comedians. I don't think he will, though. Maybe his twin brothers, maybe one of them, but I don't think he will. He's very smart, but very stubborn at the same time. So I think he'll be a politician.
That's a great way of phrasing it. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
he's very smart, very stubborn. We have to fight with him a lot. But he's really funny though. He's really funny. He loves spending time with his grandmother. They play games together and they sit and watch TV. He loves spending time with my wife.
Oh, I love that. That's so sweet. You want to
Yeah.
make memories.
Absolutely.
Especially with what we're dealing with right now. You always want to make memories
Yeah.
and leave it out there.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, prior with your comedy and everything, because I know you're looking to get more shows outside or try to get something up to date. When were you looking for that? Like, are you trying to do that for yourself? Are you just looking to do that when we find out something? Or how can people stay updated with you?
They can go on my Facebook, Simply D. They can go on my Instagram, same.
Is Simply D your like page or is that your real page?
What?
Because isn't your
My-
name Daryl?
Well, it's actually Daryl Monroe.
Okay.
That's Daryl with an E. You know that.
Yes.
But
you're saying Simply D. I'm like, do you have
but
a
it's,
like
it's
page?
I have a fan page.
Thanks for telling me that. I didn't know that.
I have a fan
should like
page.
that probably.
Yeah, I
That
have
would
a
help.
fan page. So
Okay.
you can go Daryl Monroe or Simply D because when I post something on one of them, it goes to all of my pages.
Okay.
So you can just check out my
So
Instagram.
that's probably why you randomly posted the headliner yesterday.
Yeah,
Or was that for me?
that was actually for you.
Yeah, I didn't.
That was for you. I posted that for you.
I
But
just copied and pasted it. I was like, is this for me? Because
Yeah.
you didn't put any text or anything with it. You just
well, I
posted.
figured you knew who it was.
No, but I mean, you posted it on your wall.
Did I?
Yeah, you can see it on
Okay,
your wall.
I
That's why I
didn't
didn't know if it was for me or not.
Okay, I didn't know. Yeah, but that was definitely for you.
That was funny.
But yeah, if anybody wants to know what I'm doing, I'm always. You can check out my social media. It'll always be on there what I'm doing. Right now, like I said, it's kind of light. But when I am doing something, and I'm seriously considering the virtual stuff.
Good, yeah, definitely look
Yeah.
into it. Try to see if I have any comedians I could send your way, or whether you could get your foot in the door. I know Adam Yenzer,
Mm-hmm.
one of my good friends still, that also came here in the studio last year. He came here, Doc G? Yeah, he came here last year. He's one of the directors from the Ellen DeGeneres show.
Okay.
He's also a comedian as well.
Oh, cool.
He's doing a lot online,
Oh,
you know,
cool.
so virtual, basically. A lot of shows and stuff. But another thing is a lot of people are paying for tickets on there, and then they get the virtual show. So I think they're doing it like via Zoom.
Right. Yeah,
or
I saw
something
that.
just
yeah.
to do
yeah.
interactive.
And I'm working on a podcast as well. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't want to come back to Hamilton Radio, but you want to do your own podcast.
No, I definitely want to come back to Hamilton Radio. Absolutely.
What is your podcast about?
The same thing my show was about. Just it's going to be called Think About It, the same way my show was, and
Okay.
it's about any and everything.
Is it going to be anything like, why do we park on the parkway and drive on the
Anything.
driveway?
That's a little bit corny. That's
It's
a little
the
bit
truth,
corny.
though, is it
Yeah.
not?
But I guess probably, yeah, because it's going to be a show about any and everything.
I mean, he's going to show us everybody to go to Google and do the Wizard of Oz thing, and he's going to...
Yeah, I mean,
That
it's
one
definitely yeah, that would be something like that because it's about any and everything.
And I
like
think that's fun, though.
when I did the radio show here and when I was at the other station, the whole premise was people would call in and talk about what they wanted to talk about, and it usually.
Well, now you want to be careful with that because it's very political.
Well,
places.
I'm not political.
No, I know, but I mean, other people
The
would call,
climate, yeah,
and
it's a political climate.
they'll mention that. They'll like say something about Biden or Trump and be like, "Oh,
Well-
I'm sorry."
Well, I can turn that into something funny. I can always turn it into something funny. If you get too political, you get hung up on.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's when you just go like this to the camera, like back there, and then they go. "Zoop."
Yeah,
They hung up, so.
yeah, because I don't like to. I'm a comedian, and my job is to bring a little bit of joy in people's lives for a short time.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's fun, though, right?
You can have your political views. I'm not going to agree or disagree with you, but when I'm doing my thing, it's just about having fun.
Well, thank you again for being here tonight.
Absolutely,
Daryl.
I love being
And
here.
I hope that everybody has a great Thanksgiving because this
Yes.
week is Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
And hopefully you are staying safe and 6 feet apart and wearing a mask and all these other restrictions that we have to follow because we are practically human. Like, what else should I add to that?
I think you did a pretty good job.
I just, like, I'm biting my teeth as I talk because I don't want to say any of this, but, I feel like I have to, like,
You know what? It really is
as a
hard
radio
that we
show
have
host,
we have to say
we
these
have
things.
to say this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not they're forcing us or anything, but it's in the world.
Yeah, it is.
And you don't want to deal with other people tuning in and not hearing
Yeah,
any of that,
just-
and then they report you or
Yeah, just be careful out there and stay safe and keep your family safe.
and don't get the vaccine and save your life.
Please don't get the vaccine.
And
If you get the vaccine, you're going to turn into a zombie.
Oh yeah, tell them about that movie that Will Smith did.
Yeah. I Am
wanna
Legend.
watch that. I haven't
I Am Legend.
seen that
yeah.
one.
These people get this cure for cancer, and it turns out that it turns them into zombies.
That's so scary. That's so scary. Everything in the
and
world
it's a
is
movie. It's a
programmed.
movie, but you think about it, you're like, wow, like what's going on.
But half of the movies out there, when they talk about like bombs and like threats and all that stuff, or shootings, or like any of that stuff, it's what we're dealing with close to.
You ever see a movie with Roddy Piper in it called They Live?
Oh, I did, and my boyfriend just saw it.
What you
I
think
love
about
that movie more than anything. You
But
kidding
what do
me?
you think about it?
I
though?
feel like I am not wearing sunglasses. Obviously, I'm wide awake, but the people that are out there are not.
It's modeled after life. It's a documentary.
It is. It's such an
The guy that
amazing
started
movie.
in it, Roddy Piper, I seen a documentary hit with him in it, and it's weird because that's what I'm actually quoting him verbatim.
Yeah.
He said, "This is not a movie; it's a documentary," and he gave the whole rundown on it, and then he was dead a month later.
That's so. Because that's what happens.
It's
When
scary.
When you
It's
speak,
when
they
you
hear
speak up, yep. They want us to stay asleep, and that movie, and that's what it's about: being asleep or woke.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank you for being awake. I try
Thanks
to
my
be
parents
awake.
for that.
You got
I'm
awesome
thankful that my
parents.
boyfriend is awake. That's the happiest thing. 'cause
Absolutely.
that makes me feel like
And we
one
got
big
to
in a
wake
way.
up more people.
We will do our best.
Yep, we got to wake up
without
more
scaring
people.
people.
Without
away.
scaring them, but sometimes
You have
sometimes
to.
people you have to scare people.
Yep.
Sometimes scaring them is the only thing that works. So
I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving.
I second
And
that.
thank you again, Dee, for being here.
Thank you.
Hope you come back to the station
Absolutely.
and we have you some voiceovers and just hang out. You know,
Absolutely.
we miss you. So.
Yeah, I'll come just hang out with you guys.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you all so much. Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.
you doing, man? You good?
I'm good.
Awesome, brother. Waiting on a couple people to get on here still, so we'll give them a few minutes.
Cool.
Let you know.
What up, everybody?
What up? You feeling good, brother?
Yeah, man. Feeling good, man. Can't complain. You know, the usual. What's
Yeah.
up, Jake?
Howdy.
My name's Chino, man.
Hey, Chino.
Yeah. Been 5 minutes and he's already acting like people can't fucking read. Oh, shit. You feeling good, though, you said? Talking to